Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is, at long last, the first field test of the NITECORE MH25 Pro. I want to thank NITECORE for sending me this light and making the review possible. I've tried for well over a month to get this film. December vacation, truck in the shop, bad luck with weather. In fact, I've had this light out for 3 separate evaluations, all of which had some degree of rain exposure. I did a sustained 2-hour rain exposure test. If you saw the L5 Imaging Christmas special, this light was prominently featured, again in light rain. So, rain exposure, no problem. I've got the 12 Pro here for a basic size comparison. In fact, to save time in the video, I'm going to suggest that if you have not already done so, go look at the first couple of chapters of the review of the MH12 Pro. You'll find that these lights do have a great deal of similarity. The big difference, other than the obvious size difference, is that the 25 Pro has almost, not quite, but almost twice the peak candela. So expect more of a thrower. And in that regard, I know you're not here to listen to me babble on. You want beam shots, more beam shots, and you probably want to see a comparison in turbo between these two. On the subject of turbo, you're probably interested in whether or not the 25 Pro has that same highly aggressive step down. Well, we're going to get to all of that tonight, just as soon as the sun goes down. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. First, at the bit of a tint comparison, I've got the MH12 Pro on the left. I'm going to call that the 12, the 25 Pro on the right. I'm just going to call that the 25. And this is the low output level. Fairly bright concrete that we're on. I did this as a first test in the review of the 12, and you'll see the effect of tinting is more noticeable inside the hot spot at close proximity, low output on the 12, and some of that is just a narrower beam and a bit brighter reflection from the higher candela in the 25. Move this around some more. All right, there we go. Let's go look at the output levels, the basic output levels of the 25. Here we are at the bridge on low. Medium. This time of year, with all the trees gone, we have well over 40, 45 yards line of sight back into the trees. High. And everyone's favorite, turbo. Same test. More wide open area, much brighter, more light pollution. This is low. Medium. That gap between the trees, about 50 yards. We have line of sight to 60 plus back there. High. And there is the side to side holding the light relatively steady. And one more up. Alright, this is another low medium test looking at a somewhat groomed path. The path is not wide. Low is okay, otherwise you may have to scan back and forth a little bit more. Let's work our way down in here and see how it goes. And for a low output, this is actually pretty impressive. Okay, let's jump up into medium. I think if this is the only light I had, and this is what I was doing, I kind of like the medium mode better. Let's see, last time I did this, we went left. Let's go right. And for those keeping score at home, there's the bridge looking back underneath and through there. This will be a medium high test looking out over another creek. This time of year, 38 plus yards line of sight from where I'm standing. Entrance to the outer loop trail. Of course, we're now much closer to the sign, probably not even 20. Move on out to where the path curves off to the right. Except I'm going to keep going. Alright, let's go up one into high. I was very interested in that gap right there. And then as I move around, actually pretty decent visibility into that far tree line. This is my favorite area to do high tests because there are two tree lines, and so I'm just going to sweep slowly to the left, see what kind of visibility I get in there. And it's well over 100 yards line of sight as we get past this area. Good 110 plus by the time we lose line of sight. And here we go, turbo, over 175 yards to that tree in the distance, lighting it up, no problem. Good deal of detail all the way around. So I'm just going to let it stay here and see what happens. And there you see the step down. Very aggressive, although even post step down, okay, there's somebody walking there, I don't want to light them up, but I was still able to get decent detail around that tree area. Let's see if they've moved past. Yeah, so this seems like a bit of a steady state. I still don't like that hard ramp down. I prefer a more gradual or linear ramp down. What I want to do next is I'm going to let the light cool, and then I'm going to redo this test in high so we can see how the steady state here compares with high output. Okay, there's high. Very similar. Quite honestly, for anything more than 25 or 30 seconds, I'd probably be better off just sticking in high the entire time, but I'll let you make up your own mind. Okay, 25 on the right, 12 on the left in turbo. Turn them both on at the same time. The 12 seemed to step down faster. Very interesting. And here is one more look in low and medium on what has turned out to actually be a very bright night. Let's see if I can get over here and get a better angle. There we go. Medium. All right, I have one more test I want to run in high, and then we'll call it a night. I wanted to do a couple of photonic barrier tests in the parking lot on high, especially using momentary. So we have the lit building there ahead of us. I'll just do some brief flashes here into the darker areas in high. Same thing as we move around here. Yes, it does help if you hold the switch down. Just kind of interested in the reflections I get back at me at closer range. And then let's go around here to the parking lot light one more time. And we are back to where we started. So might as well answer the question that I always get asked: would I use this light in search and rescue? And the honest answer is, at this time, I just don't know. This is the fourth time I've had the light out in an evaluation that lasted at least an hour and a half. Now, size-wise, fit, finish, texturing, everything I like just as much as the 12. This works very well as a free light in my general loadout, and that's just a term I use for a light that I have attached onto a telescoping wire. It's on the lower left strap of my ruck, and it's intended to work in between my headlamp and my long throw light. I'm kind of digging the low, medium, high output levels. Not much of a fan of turbo, so I can see some potential uses. I really think I need to take it out to the Oak Point Nature Preserve and do a more detailed evaluation focusing strictly on the high and turbo outputs. But enough of me. The most important person in this video, in this evaluation, is you. I hope you got some useful information, including at least a couple data points on how it compares to the 12. We may need to explore that further. We may need comparisons with perhaps the P23i and the SRT7i, just kind of thinking off the top of my head. If those are things that you are interested in, leave a comment. I'll see what I can do. Going to go ahead and shut this evaluation down for tonight. And as always, Until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.